Butter. Morning, what's going on? Yeah, 4 million shares. I think that works. This side, yeah. I mean, this has the look, Chris. It's just it's just a tough bastard to nail. Good morning, everybody. What is up in the hoods? Many hoods. Yo, dude, what's going on? My friends, my people. Dude, it's time to do the Lord's work, baby. Dude. All right, let's get to it, man. We got things to do. Everybody good? Everybody juicy? Everybody saucy? Hot damn, man. Well, as they say in France, 2 beers in a bucket. Fuck it. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Hey, so we got a little bit of a weak open in the market. The market was getting a little bit frothy yesterday, but the big hairy Indian butt is that the trend has been so strong. This has been a murderer's row if you're trying to short the market right now. Even when I think the market's a short, you got to almost force yourself to just long. I know for a lot of people that depend on a little bit of common sense, it doesn't make any sense, but you got to just do it, right? Because that's just this is like one of those just hot, heaty kind of markets, and it's just gonna do that. Like it's just rolling like that. So just be mindful of, that. We got a little bit of a weakness. Let's see. The play is after such a big day that the first hour tends to be like a little bit choppy. You either go red to green right away and just rip it, or you chop around for like a good hour. You even do like some fake short setups, like some fake bear flags, and then they typically end up getting kind of bought up. But be mindful for today. Today's a little bit more tricky for 2 reasons. Number one, you got the Fed tomorrow. Okay. So you got the Fed tomorrow. So you may have a little bit of a wait and pause. Now, look, the Fed hasn't been really, the Fed's not as juicy and saucy right now as it was, a year and a half ago, right? Now we know what they're going to say. Hey, inflation is getting better. Hey, we're committed to, finding a good equilibrium for interest rates, like this kind of stuff, right? So we know what they're going to say. There's not like there ain't some epic thing that they're coming out with. So just something to be mindful of. Da, 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 bum, 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 bum. Just a little something to be mindful of as you go through this. They're not going to say nothing. So we do what we do, which is the do. And, if things get juicy, then they get juicy. So I think, overall the market's looking pretty good, but it can get there's some things that could get better. Beyond these quantum computing stocks, there really hasn't been that much, there was not a crazy amount going on yesterday. So kind of keep that into the back of your minds too. Hold on here 1 second. I'm just looking for something. Just looking for a little something, a little charger. All right. So now, besides these quantum computing stocks, you really haven't had like some epic. I don't think you've had some epic kind of epic movement. So we do gotta like just be a little bit. We gotta just be like a little bit careful. I think as we go through, like we're running out of some stocks to trade. It's been basically like the Mag 7 and then these quantum stocks. So you see RGTI, these are all starting to get parabolic. IONQ and gangbusters yesterday. And then you had QUBT. And frankly, even I was trading these turds yesterday. And that's when right? That's when that things are getting frothy. Even if I'm trading them, then like I hate stuff like this. And if I'm doing it, then it's game on. So these are the only things that have been in play of recent. And, we'll kind of keep that into the back of our heads too. We've got a little bit more work to do, right? A little bit more work to do beyond like getting these kind of names going. So let's take a look. The plan for today is if the market flushes off at the open, we want to see if we can find a spot to nab some longs, all right, going into the Fed. Let's look for some support plays here. And, if we can get down into like somewhere in here, man, we'll have ourselves a little bit of fun. If we're looking at the SPY is, just basically in like a big long flag right now. But what the SPY is telling us is that, right, the SPY has not been going up while the QQQs has been going up. So what does that tell you? That the most of the gains have been concentrated in a handful of names, right? And so where have the gains been concentrated? Well, they've been pushing in Tesla, right, and AVGO, and dude, even the Google's been trading super hot, right? So we've got these kind of things that I think have been leading the way. And so the QQQ is just a lot hotter than the SPY. So what you want to be doing is sticking with big tech, right? And then you want to be, taking income trades in these, in these quantum stocks. Now, look, all of these things are probably $1 or $2 companies, but that may not matter in current market conditions, right? It may not matter in current market conditions. The chase is on. I would be Googling any company that has the word quantum in it and just seeing if you can get a little piece of it. So beyond this QUBT, right, we have QBTS. There was one yesterday that didn't move, this QSI, right? And Quantum SI Incorporated. So you got a handful of these that you want to put on your watch list, right? You got old Riggedy Diggity, and then the other one is right this ARKK. So you got a couple of these bad boys, not ARKK, well, ARQQ, my bad, right? And so this ARQQ's got a spot here at 30. Now look, this trade's so thin. But the 30 spot is there. They did have a little bit of a wick through this a couple days ago. Let's just pretend like that doesn't exist. And then let's go and rage. Yeah, let's rage and do what we got to do. What else can we do, right? What else can we do? So I think we got some decent spots, but we got to just get a little bit better, right? We got to just get a little bit better, a little bit more juicy. And dude, then we go out and do the Lord's work. Whoa, what the heck just happened here? Man, that's nice. So let's add a 30 spot to this, right? Let's add a 30 spot to this, and we'll have some fun here. Man, this is nice. Hold on here. I gotta open this window. It's getting hot here. I had to move in to the bedroom over here, so now it's just boiling hot over here. Man, that's nice. I want you to add an alert right in this spot, and then let's go see what we do, which is the do. Zaman, what up? Dude, let's add it. Let's add it. Now let's go through and see what else we got here. Let's go through and see what else we got here. Dun, dun, dun. Look at this PRTG. This is a little biotech company. This is the definition of right pump and dump. This company has reverse splits, $1,000. Like this is probably a 2-day pump and then it rolls over. Same thing with this, right? They just had a reverse split. These are all 30 McGee's. QUBT, guys, be careful on this. You play with fire on these, all right? What I mean by that is every day that they go up, you get closer and closer to the rug, right? A nasty little rug. And so you want to be a little bit mindful when you do this. What I mean by that is like you can't just come in and buy it up, right? Like you got to have a little bit more, man, you got to have just a little bit more something. So let it pull back at the open, let it kind of do what it's got to do. And then we'll see we'll see what's going on this. Does that make sense? All right, all right, all right, all right. Good. Let's see what else we got going on here. You can add this, but man, you got to be real careful. That rug is coming, guys. That rug is coming. And not only is it going to be, it's going to be a 50% banger when it finally rugs down. EHTH. Hey, this is the market to play something like this. These basing plays have been huge, right? So this thing used to be $180. You got a PR out on this thing today. Let's see what the PR is on this bad boy. Let me see this. EHTH updates guidance for fiscal 2024. Dude, let's add this. It doesn't have any liquidity yet, but it may come in later in this kind of market. Let's add it for now. Look at this QMCO. This thing is ripping pits here, right? So this is another quantum stock. Dude, this is where you got to be, right? This is where you want to be. Man, that's nice. That's real nice. What do you think? I like it. I mean, it's got the juice. It's got the juice. It's got the boots. It's got the coots. It's got all of it. It's not my particular flavor because it's already up kind of 3 days in a row. But I mean, if you're just day trading around, like, why not, right? I think the other ones have more liquidity, though, so just kind of be mindful. Now, this Tiva, this could be something. Let's see. Tiva announced positive phase 2B result demonstrating best-in-class potential ulcerative colitis, blah, blah, blah. Man, you're clearing out some ranges on this, right? Clearing out some ranges in this. Man, I'm into this. What do you think? Yeah, you got 6 million shares in volume already? Dude, that's hot. Brian B, what up, baby? What's up, Big D? Let's add that Tiva. So, what do you want to do with this? It's already up 18%. It's a thicker stock, too. It's a billion share float. So, let it yank at the open and then see how it absorbs, right? See how that first dip holds? I think, dude, this is going to have, when you have 6 million shares in volume already, and you got, man, this is going to be a little bit thicker so you can get some size in this. You could actually load up on this bad boy, get a little size. I think this is top of our list, guys. Add that. Kango. Look at this. Too thin, too thin. Stay away from all these thin ones. Now, what's up with this? Look at this. Goldman Sachs upgrade SolarEdge to buy from sell. $10 price target. It's already fucking $14. Like, what? What? Let's see. Up to buy, liquidity fears overblown, and shrink to grow strategy in the back of restructuring efforts estimated to alleviate free cash flow burn in 2025. I am not opposed to this. Let's see how this holds. All right. I'm not opposed to this. Let's see how this holds. it may be once so we're on what's the date? December 17th. We should start to get some tax loss selling in this. And once that tax loss selling is over, because right, it's been grinding down all year for 2 years, it may catch a bid and you get the right amount of upgrades and all of this kind of stuff. You may actually, dude, dude, let's add that. Why not? Let's add it. This stock is a slut though. There's no getting around it. It's not even a giver. It's a little bit of a rundy. So we do want to just be kind of a little bit mindful. Let's be a little bit mindful to just get this thing going, and then we shred it. Let's see if it holds. I'm into it. There's like just a little something, something. Yeah, let's add it for now. All right, cool. What do you think on this one, Zaman? You got legs on it or what? It might. ARQQ we talked about. Look at this QBTS. You can add all these. They're gonna yank. It's a matter of just can you get out before they yank. All right. You can play them. Now look, the one thing is these are easy to borrow too. Like even at E-Trade, they've had Riggedy and stuff. So my thinking is like as they're starting to they make this last gasp here. What I would be personally like, what I'm looking for, I'm not looking to long this Riggedy. I'm looking for, you can see this dump here, how it went from 975 to 8. When you see that, you know that there's some sellers around the corner now, right? And so what I want to see is really kind of like a push into this and some type of failure, or maybe even a little push over, and then they yank it, right? Uh, this will be easy to borrow for almost everybody. I like the overall look of it. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Yeah, why not? Dude, it's a buenos. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. Ba, ba. I know. I don't like trading solar stocks either. Look at this Xena the Warrior. These guys actually put out a quantum computing PR2. And so you're kind of getting a little bit of an offshoot of this too. So you can also keep this. If you see a run in quantums, you can keep playing really any of these. Chunk, 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 chunk. Look at all this. So these are the Tesla ETFs. So all of these are Tesla. Let me just should have just swing. Anybody ever just look at something like this? Like, man, I should have just swung a 1,000 shares of this and fucking sat on our butts. Dude, what a beast. TSSL also, right? Dude, I had so much of this in one of my IRAs and I sold it for like just a few points. So this is an interesting thing with Tesla. It's powering through. It is technically a rubber band short now. But, you're about 10% from its 9 EMA. But it is a very, very hard stock to trade. Like, not to the long side, but like any type of counter trend trading in general is like, it's not easy, right? So you want to be a little bit mindful when you see something like this. Like it's got work to do, right? Like you may need to even get a little bit you may even need to get a little bit more saucy on this. Like you may need to the pre-market high was 480. You may need to like kind of push through. I'd like to see like if I get short something on like this, the ATR on this is $19. So I'd like to see at least $19 of ATR used up. But if it gets past the ATR, then it gets a lot more juicy on the short side. But like I said, like it's just it's a bastard to even try. Like sometimes now it has been up 9 out of 10 days, right? So you're kind of getting there. It's there, like it's there, it's there. It's a setup. It's something that normally we would do. I would take this thing down and show it a little American justice. But it is not an easy stock to trade. The per candle ATRs are dollars now. Dollars. And so what's happening is they are not, it is not acting appropriately for the most part, right? Because if you're one of these people, like as a day trader, I like to use $1, $2 stops a majority of the time. And so you trade something like this, you can't really use a $1 stop because the ATR per 5 minute candle is fucking $2. Right? And so you start to get into some really kind of weird spots. So just something to be a little bit mindful of. We watch it, but I want to see that ATR get used up. Now let's dig into kind of some of the regular watch lists and see like what's going on here. Right? There's a handful of things that we want to take a look at. Ooh, look at this thing. What happened over here? Fucking AVG. Bum, 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 bum. Secondary offering, little bastard. Agent. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Da-da-da-da. 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 Yeah, Arcat also. These are all rendies. Look at all this stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Chunk, 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 chunk. All right, nothing that juicy on the short side. All right, yeah, fuck. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Da-da-da-da. Oh. Oh, shit, where'd my screen go? Look at this. Fucking Affirm did an offering too. They did an offering too. All right. So we got a couple of these gappers I want to look at, and then let's dig into my regular kind of stock watch list that I think is going to play. So we've got Tiva, we got Sedig. I think both of these can hold. Hey, on a longer term basis, I've been eyeballing this ASML more for a longer trade. I think this is like a base breakout that's setting up over here. A little bit of a slower stock, but it's getting there. It's getting there. I've been looking at this thing for months, like since it dropped here. Not months, but 2 months since it dropped here. I've been watching it for the base out. This is like one of the biggest semiconductor companies, right, of Europe. So been staring at this thing more for like a swing trade, retirement account trade, but it's that's got a good look to it. Now let's get into the kind of just regular old happy-go-lucky watch list, and let's see what we got going on. So there's a couple things I want to be mindful of, right? First of all, this Asan broke its flag yesterday, right? I think this is going to have probably a day two. This is a recent earnings winner. You busted the flag. I'm surprised none of you guys took this thing yesterday. That was just a simple line drawer setup. Get a week open on this one. I think this is a candidate for a red to green. NBIS. This one had all sorts of heat on it yesterday. Guys, this is, essentially, this is an AI company now, or that's how they're getting it. That's how they're getting it. That's how they've listed it. They changed their name. So it used to be be some other company, and then they recently changed their name. But essentially, they're in the AI infrastructure game. You finally, after that run to 40, and this was a pump from Citron, you've come back into the bone zone. And yesterday, you got a green candle to hold. You got a week open on this today, right? You're down 2% at the open. This is your classic. This is like your classic kind of look. So we gotta get ready to get this thing going. Heck yeah. I like it. I like it. I like it. Da-da-da-da. Now this I'm into. Yes. So look, check this out. Yesterday, this AI had a pretty decent day, right? This here, right here, is a little bit of a hodgepodge of kind of poo poo. But if you start to zoom out on this thing, it unpoo poos. So you got a big breakout that's setting up here. Let's call this near 50, right? But before even that, right, we have kind of a little bit of a mini breakout here at 45 that sends it to 50. If you look at the volume accumulation on this, right, it's been muchos buenos. It's got a nice little look to it, right? It was dead. Look at how dead it was, right? And now all of a sudden the volume's starting to pick up on it. See, this thing's under accumulation. And if you look on a bigger picture, or let's go to a weekly chart, for example, right? Now look at that. Use always weekly charts to clean something up, right? To unclutter it. Oftentimes when you look at daily charts, they're a little bit, they can be a little bit, right? And you're like, fuck, man, how do I even stare at this thing? So when that happens, right, go to that weekly chart. It'll unclutter everything for you and kind of help you visualize really what the setup is. This type of base breakout has really been, in the last 6 months, the most powerful setup, right, in the market. Any of these stocks that were up, hundreds of dollars and then came down and are now basing out, right, are ripping one after another, right? And it's, a whole host of, right, these kind of names, right, like SQs and PayPals, and right, there's so many of these bad boys. So I think this AI got a chance today, right? And it may not be today per se, but it's getting there, right? It's getting there. That 45 breakout's going to be huge. We want to be, participating in this even before that. Frankly, I had a nice little takeout yesterday of its kind of 3-day range, and then boom, man, there. I think you had this on your watch list. I'm surprised you didn't take it, right? Guys, whenever you have a hot setup and then you have a kind of 3-day range, that's usually like that's a telltale sign of a good spot, right? So you got a week open on this one. Dude, I think this, if the market holds up, we red to green this bad boy. All right. So add this one too. So I want you to add in Asan. I want you to add in NBIS. I want you to add in AI. Now, on the other side of things, those are the fags, right? Tesla is already getting heavy, right? Already getting heavy. But you don't want to chase this bad boy down into the dumper. So what happens is, especially if you're like, there's certain traders that don't, they just are reactive traders, right? There's certain traders that are just reactive traders. And so they see like if something go down, they short. They see something go up a little bit, they long, right? That's like, hey, I'm in this stock, it goes down, I'm shorting it, but 2 seconds before I was longing it, right? Because they just follow whatever candles. When you get a hot stock like this and you see like a little stick down, don't get overreactive and just be like, oh, I got to stick up, I long, I got to stick down, I short. You got to really let it come in. When you get a like a big stock, with like a lot of range and you're trying to short it, you got to be careful with the entries. Oftentimes, the bear flags end up bouncing if you chase it down. So you just got to be a little bit careful. I think it personally is due for a roll now, but it's just not, you just can't, you got to be so precise. And then you're going to have to trade it small. Don't chase this thing up, don't chase this thing down. Like and you don't got to nail the first entry, right? Like you can let it develop. Like boom, it spikes down. You can hit the first pull, right? There's so many things you can do. If you have a stock that's a trender or a stock that's a runner, on any given moment, any given day, you could have 3, 4, 5, 6 setups in them. And any one of those will make your day, right? You just need one of them. And so you don't got to worry about like necessarily just nailing like the first entry. The secondary, the third dairy, the fourth dairy, all that kind of stuff will be just fine. So just let it set up. Bam. Da-da-da. Man, let's get this thing going. All right. AVGO. This needs a pull now. I know it's been the hot stock of the last couple days. And if you look at these two big volume bars, obviously there's a lot of institutional buying that's happening in this. And so the first, let it pull back here. Look, the 9 EMA is at 208. It needs some work, right? It needs some work. It's got to pull back. It needs to have one of those kind of little bit nasty little down days. Cool. Bum. Yeah, let's let this thing pull back. I think probably the first support is going to be somewhere 240 to, let's say, 235. And then, really yesterday's low would be, like a nice easy spot for potential bounce. But like on a bigger term picture, you really need 2-3 days of pullback to let it be going. Reddit looks good. You've got a level here right at 180. So I got this on the list too, Zaman. Good. You can see IONQ's already starting to push through here. These things ain't going away just yet. They ain't going away just yet. I think you can keep trading it. I just a little bit worried about the Ruggy McGee. Yeah, and then guys, be careful today. Remember, everything's like a little bit extended. Look at this Peloton. I want you to add this one to the watch list too. Set an alert at 10:50. At some point, I mean, first of all, it looks a little bit like a swing trade. That's a hot look. If this takes out 10:50, I mean, you got some upside. And this is the setup that's been working, right? Like this type of rounding setup has been, right, the tour du jour. So add that one too. I like the overall look of that too. Good. On the crypto side, guys, some of these are okay, right? Like Riot and some of these. But man, they are tough to trade. They dump out of nowhere sometimes, right? At least Coin is tough to trade, right? It just wicks up and comes back down. MSTR has been broken, right? Dude, nice trend, and then boom, it's getting rugged, right? It's getting sold off, right? It's probably topped out. So you just got to be a little bit careful on those. I think these probably need a long time to heal. The semiconductors like NVIDIA still look weak, right? Still look weak. NVIDIA, we want to short this on all pops. If this thing pops up at the open, you get into this range here, 132 to 131 to 133, something like that. You're going to get yourself a nice little fade off. So keep an eye on some of these bad boys. AMD's the same thing, right? A little bit of a bleeder. Guys, be careful today. With the Fed around the corner, we're probably due for a little bit of a Ruggy McGee. All right? Cool. Let's go get it today.